How's it going, YouTube? Lawler here. As always, we've been talking a lot about RLCS roster stuff for 2025, and this one needs its own video because, in my opinion, it is the end of an era. If you guys haven't seen the latest news, first things first, as always, go into the description, check out the RLCS roster document. We try to update these as aggressively as possible so you guys know what's going on, but the one that we're hovering right here may make you double or triple take as you read it. And you're reading that right. NRG in discussion with Firstkiller and LJ for 2025. Garrett G and Fire, future uncertain. I was actually on stream the day before, and we were talking kind of our Theorycraft rosters. If you guys haven't seen that document, I can probably pull it up for you. But we were kind of talking about the duo. We've heard a lot about what is being rebuilt in Europe. We've been talking about Team Vitality looking like the super team. K-Corp bringing in Drawley. What's going on with Gentlemade? So they're doing Oski, Redosin, Itachi. What's happening with that? But over in North America, we obviously have G2. That's our super team. They went second place at worst throughout the entire season. Otherwise, they won. So, like, why change that? Why mess with that? But the reality is if NA is going to be competitive, we need to find other rosters that can live up to that hype. The conversation's been around a rebuild with Hoxer, a rebuild with Stizzy, what's going on with NRG and Garrett. And all those kind of conversations were like, okay, let's go back to the original duo, where Firstkiller and LJ have been rumored to be paired together. Who's their third? Where can they go? So that conversation was then, okay, do they go with Space Station and Hoxer? We haven't seen them really talking together. We haven't really seen anything going on there. Can that happen? Okay, we're not sure. What about Dignitas? What happens if it's Stizzy, LJ, and Firstkiller? And then we started talking about NRG, and I'm like, you know what? I felt personally that a lot of that is probably going to be relying on what Garrett and Fireburner want to do, based upon the loyalty that NRG has shown towards Garrett. And while I don't think Garrett is a bad player, Garrett does his role very well. He is there and is always going to show up and do his job. And in Rocket League, when everybody's striving for consistency, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's really good to have a veteran talent that's level-headed, that shows up, puts in the work, and is reliable. But in today's age in Rocket League, is reliability enough? And that's where the conversation started to lead to. Again, this was already a video I had recorded. It was supposed to release on Friday, today when this video is coming out. I had it done. It was all ready to go. But then, of course, we get this from Achilles saying, hey, sources, NRG Esports is in active discussions with star free agents, Firstkiller and LJ, as they gear up for the 2025 season. While talks still in the early stages, sources suggest that both deals are likely to come through. Lot to unpack with that, because obviously NRG being one of the more profitable organizations focusing heavily on content creation and the advertisement stuff that they do in regards to like Musty and the Carvana deals and everything like that. Like, they know how to leverage their names to make some cash, which if these guys aren't free agents in the sense of unrestricted free agents, which means they're under contract, they have contract buyouts, NRG is going to have to pay a ton of money when everybody else is trying to reduce how much money they're spending in the RLCS ecosystem. So there's a lot of intriguing concepts of NRG has not been part of the conversation of a top tier team in quite a while. Let's be completely honest with ourselves. As much as we love NRG, as much as they are a staple, they were the big three. They have a lot of history in this space. The best they've performed is a top 8 appearance here and there. And when you have the notoriety of a brand like NRG, that just simply isn't good enough. So you have to ask yourself the question, do we go after up-and-coming potential? Do we go with veteran talent? Do we pick up AAA free agents? What do we do? Do we want to buy our roster? Do we want to grow and develop? How do we want to approach this? And that question is not easy. There is no simple answer for what is the right way to go about making a team that is competitive, that will attend majors and ultimately go to the World Championship, because that is the goal. We haven't seen NRG at a major event since I think, oh yeah, they were at Worlds. They made top 8 at Worlds. You're right. Thank you for that clarification. But it's like, outside of that, 21-22 at Worlds, we haven't seen them in 2 years. It'll be a third year that we haven't seen them in international competition, which is crazy to think about. To go from second place against BDS, where they literally admitted at BDS, like, they're just better than us. And then it's been a slow decline ever since. They've gone through like 4 or 5 different teams. If I'm NRG as an organization, objectively, I go, maybe it's time for something different, because what we've been doing hasn't been working. And the reality of that is, and I don't want to point fingers, but I think we do have to hold people accountable. What was the management decision? What was the coaching decision to say we want to go through Frosty? We let go of Frosty for reasons. Toasty, Drees, so on and so forth. Aqua. Like, they have gone through a plethora of people. And at a certain point, if I'm the boss and I go, hey, man, all of these things didn't work. What are the key common traits? These two people. We got to move on. Now, again, this is a rumor. This isn't a confirmation. As you guys have heard me iterate numerous times, this is not official. This is just early conversations that may not even work out. Maybe NRG goes in and goes, you know what, you guys' buyouts are insane, and we're going to offer you a minimal salary. And LJ and Firstkiller go, you know what? We can do better than that. No thanks. And then nothing changes. They stick with Garrett. They try to rebuild and so on and so forth. That is a reality. We've seen it happen numerous times. But if I'm NRG and my goal is to get back to the top, to be at that spotlight, to be part of the conversation piece, is that a restricted free agent? Is that an unrestricted free agent? Are they under contract? Are they not under contract? There's a big difference, because everybody can be a free agent. You're allowed to go and look, but I'm going to retain and I can bench your butt if you're not willing to pay the buyout. They can pay those guys a reduced salary and keep them on the bench if no one's willing to do the buyout. We don't know if it's restricted or unrestricted. Again, there's some factors that we don't know here. We don't know when their contracts are up, but if I had to guess, they're still under contract. I will say, to combat that, again, as we are recording this live, I'm trying to react to things. Obviously, I'm reading chat and stuff, which for some reason isn't appearing. But the reality is that most teams will sign for an extension of period, and then they usually, like, contracts expire usually right around September, October, when the season ends. So I personally don't know what the direction is, where things are going for this, whether they are restricted or unrestricted. If I had to guess, they are, it's either one or the other, very, very clear and dry. Either their contracts are extended for another year and it's a massive buyout, or they have ended and they're completely unrestricted. They can do whatever they want. But to announce that while still under contract is pretty scary, because there is the opportunity that their organizations can't find a buyout in this ecosystem and go, hey, you got a reduced salary, you're not paying, and you're sitting on the bench. Sorry. So that is a reality as well. There's a lot more complication to this than just, hey, they want to go here. So it's going to be tough. I'm very interested to see what ends up finding out with this one. But yeah, it could be legitimately a brand new era of Rocket League for NRG. It would be so different seeing those names under that organization. People have become accustomed. Like, people forget, Garrett G has been with NRG since January 11th of 2017. He was with Exodus Orbit, and then ever since then, and the replacement of Jacob he's been with. It has been a long time he's been with that organization, and it's going to be weird to get used to, but that's how she goes. We got to find a way to compete in North America. This might be a way of doing it. Either way, that's going to do today's video. Greatly appreciate you guys all tuning in. I'll keep you guys up to date as we hear out more. Again, make sure you guys go support the Origins with Achilles putting this stuff in and stuff as well. But yeah, it's been some pretty crazy stuff going on, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. Either way, more updates for you guys about first chances we get to look at European teams for Flip and Spin. There's been some adjustments and changes coming up with that, so I'll keep you guys up to that. And some big announcements coming most likely next week. So if you guys want to make sure you don't miss out on that, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, helps me out greatly. Let me know comments down below if you think it's a good idea. Maybe they should build with Garrett, or they completely different. What's their third? Do they go with like a talk, up and comer? Do they go with a veteran? I have no idea. Either way, that's going to do it for me. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.